And I'm gonna say it. This is the first time I'm ever gonna say something like this. Gina is beautiful, dog. Gina is so beautiful. This shower scene was the only one I think that made me feel some type of way.
Uh, okay, dude. Okay, you know what? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I have my SQ moment. You can have your Gina moment. That caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I can't.
Bro, I thought you were gonna say something about a toenail.
No, bro, not the dolphin.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how the animators or the artists thought of drawing Otome in a shower scene. That to each their own. That's all I'm gonna say. What's good, anime enthusiasts? Welcome to another episode of Gnosia, where we don't talk about SQ, unfortunately, but we talk about another character, Gina. And I just want to put this out here. This episode allows me to dog on every single one of JD's favorite characters. It allows me to dog on Yuriko, allows me to dog on Jonas, and allows me to dog on Gina. Because a lot of things happen between, specifically only Yuriko and Gina, that I can say. But man, it gives me free reign to say what I want to say. How about you, JD?
My Gnosia heads, we are in these trials and tribulations. We are in peril. These times are not ideal for us, but we will make it out of this episode. Okay.
Not for Gina, I tell
I?
you that.
Oh no.
And
My poor
especially
little
Yuriko.
girl. We are trenches, but we will rise.
Nah, I'm not that evil. I understand Gina's situation, and it feels bad for her to go through everything. And this episode really highlights how the Gnosia, how normal you are as a person, but having the Gnosia within you, it depends on what you view it or how you deal with it. Seeing Gina and hearing Gina have this with her, have the battle with the Gnosia, both being one and not being one, is truly like thoughtful on how very adamant you can be about something and still going through it, up to the point to where you can just make some drastic decisions which can be to your very detriment or very helpful. Also we get to learn a little bit more about Gnosia and what they're able to do as far as quote unquote eliminating. And of course, Yuriko, you're on my watch now.
Okay, so yeah, I think this is the first explicit take we get from somebody who is Gnosia about how it is to be Gnosia, right? So I know a lot of you anime onlys probably were like waiting for this explanation for a long time. We did have that one loop with Yuri as Gnosia, and you could see a lot of like the traits coming through, but it was sort of filtered through the eyes of like a player, right? Or somebody who's like looping through time a bunch of times so they can get like the right answer. I think this one's a lot more pure, and I think the anime is all the better for it.
For sure. So let's go ahead and jump into it because I got 2 pages of notes on this, so you know a whole lot of stuff happened.
Oh, yes, sir.
So the episode starts us off as we see this slum-like city. If for those who played Final Fantasy VII, think about the slums area where there's a pillar in the middle, there's a whole city underneath with very close connected buildings, small alleyways, and a sky that you probably possibly could never see. It's a bad looking planet and city. But Kid Gina is there, and she's sort of lost in the crowd looking for her mom. Unfortunately, picks the wrong person, but her mom eventually finds her. It's a very heartfelt scene where Gina didn't want her mom to leave, and her mom promising to stay with her. It's very cute. It is nice to see like a nice translation of like Kid Gina to adult Gina. It was the same with Comet. I didn't like you really comment about it, but you know, it's nice to see this whole backstory of where these characters came from. Unfortunately, we don't get much about the scene because we fade back to the present day to where there's Gina and Comet in the hallway, and Comet goes up to Gina and tells her to go check the medical pods. Is that someone's gonna be waking up? Someone named Yuri who got hurt during the attack on Liuan. And Gina tries to say, hey, why don't you go ahead? But Comet says, yo, Setsu has her hands tied with something else. And because you're a space traffic controller, you're more well versed in explaining to Gina what's going on. So already out of the gate, I like this scene in particular because it shows us how people wake up Yuri, or who's being decided to wake up Yuri, rather than we just wake up and hey, there's a character right there.
Yeah, like I really love this whole opening sequence. So I want to point out the planet that we see little kid Gina on is actually Earth, right? Like a cyberized, futuristic Earth, right? Because that's where she was born, right?
Oh, right. Oh, I totally forgot about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And like, if you think back to like episode 2 when she was out with Yuri on the space station doing the repairs, she was like, "Oh, Earth is like a very blue planet. It's very like beautiful, right?" And then to see the actual place where she grew up in being sort of like not necessarily scummy, but sort of like downtrodden, really just like hits home to like how Gina lived before that, right? And then when she was hugging her mom, I noticed when the mom comes over, Gina doesn't actually hug her back, right? And when the mother says like, "Oh, Gina, I would never leave you," right? There's a specific frame where they just move away from showing her mother's face, right? I just want to hold on to that for a little bit. Seeing Gina look on Liu in out the window is also like a fun thing because she's always looking out into like deep space when she's doing these intros before the meetings and stuff like that. It was really cool. That's all. That's all for me.
No, I got you. She's contemplating a lot of. I think she contemplates a lot and not really doing anything per se. Is that she's just kind of
Lost born person.
she's just there. So it makes me wonder on. No, she's more reserved than any other character in the whole entire cast. But
Yeah.
this episode really just has to like make her come out of her shell because she does wake up Yuri. And it's cool to see the wake up Yuri from the other side where they press the control panel and all the bits and bobs open up and the whole water goes down. Yuri wakes up and then he mutters on his breath, went back again. And then Gina starts to explain like the whole spiel on where they are. But Yuri and I both like, but I also want to chide Yuri on this. Yuri shows off too much knowledge. And he says, yep, I know. And he just gets up out of the pod, puts on his clothes, not even like giving Gina the piece of her mind. And he starts rambling off. And then he gets to the door and he says, yo, let's hurry. Hold on. Yuri, don't you remember you're supposed to be amnesic? But this is something that we said before, that when you've gone through these loops so many times, you become desensitized to things and you just forget that you're supposed to be amnesic and the instant learning system doesn't work.
Yeah, Yuri is really maxing out on his parasocialness lately, and I tried to call this out like way earlier. I figured that this would happen, but it just feels very jarring to see it from the other side. Gina's probably like the most confused she's ever been in her life because this literal amnesiac is like, okay, I'm locked in. We got to find the Gnosia, and also, you keep up with me, right? So it's like, whoa, okay, I like it, but it's also Yuri, please, think of the poor people living through their first days, bro.
No, Yuri does not care because in the elevator, Gina asks, hey, did you learn stuff about the instant learning system? Yuri's like, yep, I know that the Gnosia on the ship. We use these meetings to figure out who they are. And he just goes on and starts explaining things. And Gina just interjecting, hey, I don't do well with meetings and stuff, like actively exchanging opinions with others. And Gina kind of looks at Yuri, he's like, what do you think? And Yuri just like looks away like, hey, we shouldn't try to coach each other because one of us might be a Gnosia. I want y'all to remember this moment. I really want y'all to remember this moment. He says, hey, we shouldn't coach each other in case one of us is a Gnosia. Remember this, because I'm going to bring this back up. Because Yuri is... Anyway. We get to the meeting room. There's 10 of us. We got Setsu, Comet, Stella, Otome, Chippy, Rakio, Yuriko, Jonas, Yuri, and Jina. 2 Gnosia on board, and the only power role in play is the engineer. Now this meeting is a little interesting because Jonas starts it off and asks, hey, would the engineer like to reveal themselves? Nobody does. Weren't we just discussing things about the engineer revealing themselves on day 1?
Bro, exactly. And this is the one time where they're actually right. Do not reveal on day 1, bro.
Now here,
Not right here, bro.
Now here's the other counter argument, because I was reading comments in the previous video and saying that it's probably okay for them to reveal their engineer role because there was a guardian angel in play, and the guardian angel can just protect one of the true engineer if no other Gnosia tries to lie. So there's the forcefulness added to it, so they can actually like get a actual report on the next day. But hey, I'm glad that none of the true engineer just didn't like rise up, because hey, this was the actual easy target for the Gnosia. But the characters go through the motions of talking about whether or not the engineer should reveal themselves, and then Rakio goes, "Hey, Yuri, you're suspicious because you might be faking your amnesia." Literally going back to the previous first few episodes where Rakio just hits Yuri with the "you're faking your amnesia" bit. Chippy thankfully helps out and counters Rakio because hey, you might be suspicious for controlling this meeting. And then everybody just starts contributing their own opinion, saying a line, and then Yuri prompts Jina to speak, trying to include her in the conversation rather than Jina speaking up for herself. And Jina says her word, her piece, and then when we get to vote, Yuriko gets put into sleep. Those stocks going down. Who cares about her? Next scene.
Nah, hold on, we got an objection. My good sir.
I was so happy.
My girl gets packed up for no reason. The day 1 vibe vote claims a queen for no reason.
Hey,
However,
Rakio stats going up.
hey, they are. He didn't get put out first this time. Point on the board for my boy Rakio. I think, and Yuriko is one of the people who said like, hey guys, we're sort of wasting our time if we don't just select somebody or if the engineer doesn't come out. Can we please think of something? Right? So she knows about the day 1 vibe mode. She knows, right, how dangerous it can be. I do want to bring up 2 Gnosia, no confirmed guardian angel, and Chippy did get a little bit of flack for like supporting Yuri when he was getting pressed by Rakio, which is also my day 1 nightmare. Just because everybody knows there's 2 Gnosia, if you're defending one person specifically, it looks so sus. I was worried about that because all my anime fans know that Chippy is a schmoover, bro. You only have 2 Gnosia, right? So like anybody who forms a pair that covers each other does look suspicious. It's sort of what Yuri was talking about in the elevator going down with Jina, right? Like they shouldn't coach each other, which Soren, this was the thing, right?
So yeah, after Yuriko gets put in the cold sleep while they're just looking, Yuri just whispers to Jina, hey, if you talk too much, you might get suspicious as Gnosia. But if you're also quiet, you also become suspicious. Yuri, what did you say about coaching other people because one of you might be Gnosia? Practice what I say, not what I do. So yeah, JD, what about Yuri and his advice? Do you think it was a good idea for him to go against his own saying?
My boy Yuri, he's going to do what he does best, and that is play therapist for everybody.
You mean so?
I think, yes. I think my guy can't turn off his empathetic card, and I completely understand that. He has the chance to see all these characters in such vulnerable positions that it's like impossible for him to not show empathy. These aren't killers for him anymore. These are people, you know?
Yeah, but don't try to contradict yourself like 2 minutes later.
Yeah, true. Setsu would bop him on the head for that. That's what I believe.
If she even cared at this point.
This end of episode discussion is gonna go crazy.
But afterwards, we get a shower scene with Jina. And this is more Jina internally trying to come up with a strategy, not imagining that she'll make through with it. And if no one has ever like pegged it now, this is the point to where you say Yeah, Jina's the Gnosia. She's trying to come up with a strategy and she don't think she can make through with it. Yeah, she's Gnosia. That's it. And Otome kind of pops out outside the shower. It's like, hey, Gina, I want to talk to you. Well, that's easy. Otome, you're Gnosia too. Boom, we found out too.
Man, this is a free gimme, bro. I think even for me, if I were to come up with the lie where it's like, oh, maybe Gina's just the engineer, right? And she needs to like lay low so like the Kenosha don't get her. The second Otome comes out, you sort of just get the vibe, right? There have been plenty of tales for like Gina being Kenosha since like frame zero, to be honest. That, and I'm gonna say it, this is the first time I'm ever gonna say something like this. Gina is beautiful, dog. Gina is so beautiful. This shower scene was the only one I think that made me feel some type of way.
Okay, dude. Okay, you know what? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I have my SQ moment. You can have your Gina moment. That caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I can't. Bro, don't even put this in the video, bro. Slide it out as like a behind the scenes short.
Bro, I thought you were gonna say something about Otome.
No, bro, not the dolphin.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how the animators or the artists thought of drawing Otome in a shower scene. That I was in disbelief. I was like, alright, glad to each their own. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wait, yo, Otome, was she driving her little car inside the shower? How does that work?
Bro, I don't know. I don't want to know.
I kind of do.
I don't know if she has fins for feet or she has some kind of like feet to walk around. Or she slides around on the floor. I don't know. I don't want to know the answer to these questions. But the only person that actually knows is Yuri because he was actually in the shower looking for, I think, Gina? But it's
Gina.
Yeah, but it's this whole awkward moment. But it comes to the point to where Otome is like, yo, I was going to talk to Gina, but it's okay. I'll let y'all two speak. So now Yuri and Gina are alone. Gina thanks Yuri for including her in the meeting conversation. And Yuri, rightfully so, apologizes for being so dismissive in the elevator. And they talk back and forth a little bit. And Gina's like, should we be so trusting of each other now? And Yuri's like, there might be a chance. And Gina's like, hey, I don't think so. Hey, come with me. I want you to go somewhere with me. And Yuri just slips up and says, hey, we going into space? Gina turns around and goes, what? Yuri, stop. You know too much. Oh. Stop.
I love it every time, bro. It's just like, yeah, I'm in a time. Just out with it every time. No wonder bro's key is halfway built already. He's just speed running it.
Yeah. He immediately, not even say anything, he just pulls out the silver key. It's like, hey, yo, this is an organism called the silver key, which allows me to loot and nonsense. And he just goes through the whole spiel. He probably even told like, hey, so I need you to tell me everything about you. I need your first name, last name, middle name. I need your credit card information, your social security number, your space ID. I need your mother's maiden name. I need your first elementary school. I need to name your first pet. It's like every
bro.
But this is one of those moments to where Gina really comes out as oh no, they're going back and forth about what Gina did, what the other Ginas did in the other loops, and whether or not she got put in the cold sleep or not. Yuri truthfully tells her to say, yeah, you got put in the cold sleep, and yeah, you were a Gnosia at one point. And Gina looks a little worried, looks a little sad and scared. She says, did I lie as a Gnosia? Yuri goes, yeah. And then she just has this mortified look and mental state about it. She goes and she explains that she heard an idea that, yeah, if you're infected by the Gnosia, you just gradually become okay with lying and deceiving. And then she said, hey, Yuri, I need you to tell the others, put me in the cold sleep. And she reveals that she's a Gnosia. and that she just can't bear the thought of like lying and deceiving. And she tries to run away, but Yuri just grabs her and just says, "Hey, wait, just wait."
Yuri, my heart, bro. Yes, king. Slay, brother. Slay. Slay that heart. Bro, Gina's whole demeanor about lying and like being unwilling to like deceive people sort of indicates she's a very, very young Genosha. Like this is very new to her, right? She's worried about what she will become if she keeps going. And she'd rather be cold sleep. And since cold sleep is a death sentence for Genosha, she's saying she'd rather die than be a liar, which I think is beautiful, but also insane, right? Poor Gina, bro.
Yeah,
Suffering.
I don't. It and it also goes back to the other one where she was being put in a cold sleep and how she mentioned that she didn't want to be attacked by the Genosha. Is that if she is the Genosha, she would rather not lie, not deceive anybody, put me in a cold sleep. If I'm not the Genosha, put me in a close sleep anyway. I don't want to be touched by the Genosha. I don't want to be eliminated by them. We'll get to know why later in a bit. But Gina just does not want to be here in this situation whatsoever. No matter what side she's on, no matter how high or how low the stakes are, she just does not want to be there. There's too much going on for her to like be there. So in a sad sense, you like feel for her. Like, yeah, she's in a worse spot, but also I'm gonna be the evil guy here. It's a free choice to put somebody in a cold sleep no matter what, right?
Oh my gosh, Soren.
I'm gonna be real with you. Gina, if you're Genosha, easy. If you're not, hey, it's okay. You'll live. We'll wake you back up, right?
True. You're 100% right. And Kenosha lie sound effect. There is a there is another. No, that's spoilers. No spoilers. We go.
I get you. No, okay. Yeah. Yuri tells Gina to wait because he needs that information. You know, he can't let Gina go. He needs that information for the silver key. So they go to the hologram room, and it's a pretty interesting area that they're in. It's Gina's hometown where we actually see the blue and it's not like a ruined state. So probably at some point on Earth something happened, but it does look beautiful. And Gina reiterates that she's lying. She doesn't want to lie. And Yuri tries to connect, be sympathetic. It's like, hey, you know, I was a Gnosia too, and I had to lie. And she asks, like, you know, how did it feel? And he goes through the processing. And Gina says she doesn't want anybody to disappear like they're being cyberized. Here we go, folks. Here we go. Something that she heard how it's like when Gnosia eliminate people. They don't die, only their soul remains. This cyberization is a technology that's been developed, and the only practitioners are the shrine maidens from the ship Hoshibune. This ship drifts through space, and the shrine maidens cyberize any believer who desires it. Hey people, there was a few episodes ago where Yuri's looking up a ship called the Hoshibune. That's the ship Yuriko was on. Hey Yuriko, you got some explaining to do. Also, Gina continues. They get corrupted. People who get cyberized. They turn them into something else. And then we get a little match cut to a much older Gina talking with her mom. And her mom like continues on with the explanation like, you get relieved of your body, freed from all earthly suffering. No need to fear death. Like some kind of religious hope kind of message. Some kind of lie they're being fed. And it looks like the mom really wants to go through with it. And of course, she got duped. She got cyberized. And the cult leader looking at Gina was like, hey, your mother's in heaven now. It's all good, fam. It's all good. Hey, Yuriko, you got some explaining to do. You got some real good explaining to do.
The whole sequence made me sick, bro. Like watching Gina's mom choose to disappear, and then that sort of religious group talking to Gina and being like, hey, you can join her if you so wish, and reaching the hand out. Oh my god. I was gonna throw up in my chair. I couldn't believe it, bro.
So I'm gonna throw this theory out now. The religious cult and the Gnosia are related. Yuriko, you're on my hit list.
It's crazy that she just so happens to be taken out on the one loop where Yuri and Gina both could really need answers from her specifically.
Oh 07, I'm glad you did. Next loop, let's do it again. Oh shoot, we gotta get information.
Yeah, this was set up for Queen Yuriko to have full like 4 loops to herself, bro.
Yeah. Hey Yuriko. Hey, I'm looping. I got the silver key. I know you're on the ship called the Hoshibune. I know you're at Shrine Maidens. I know you got this thing about cyberization. Can you tell me more about it? Cool. Thanks. All right, get put in a cold sleep. Later.
But no, watching Gina try to cope with like all of that and seeing her backstory, just I'm always heartbroken. I'm gonna be real. I'm a bleeding heart on this side. I think everybody knows that, but poor Gina, bro.
It's crazy. There's now I have to wonder, right? It just puts in a perspective of, is this Gnosia virus some kind of byproduct of what the Shrine Meetings did, or is it some kind of demonic or religious thing that they couldn't contain and they just left out of there? Who knows? And why can this cult do this cyberization thing in the first place? Like, what is the point of it? Yeah, your body is eliminated, but your soul remains. Like, we don't know the point of it.
I think we'll need either a Yuriko episode or another Yuri Gnosia loop for that to really be explained. And as a guy who played the game, I'm still interested to see how they like put it into words for the anime.
We'll probably get both Yuri and Yuriko are both Gnosia, and then Yuriko just does like a tutorial one-on-one on how everything happens.
Editor, please play the Gnosia lie sound effect 3 times for me. Thank you so much.
Golly. After the big reveal, Gina questions, why is Yuri helping the Gnosia if he's human? And then Yuri just does the very simple, lovable counter. It's like, hey, I'm trying to help you, Gina. I'm trying to figure out what you should do. Then they do some kind of like hologram Views of Fate to where, hey, if you really want to commit to something, you should jump from the place. It's cute. War happens. This is a little bit different. I like this. We get to see Otome and Gina meet up during war, and they get to discussing. They get to talking. It's like, who should we eliminate? And then Otome is like, hey, we should eliminate Yuri because they suspect us. They know too much. And Gina doesn't really say anything, but when day 2 starts, Rakio gets eliminated.
My girl, Gina, yes. I don't know what she said in the space between, but she saved Yuri's life, and I'm here for it, bruh.
Bro, I don't know what she said, but what Gina does during this meeting, she is like the best friend ever, but also you've got to be dumbest character ever. But I understand the game that you're playing. I understand. But day 2 happens. There's an ask of the engineer to step up. Chippy steps up. Ooh, of course, one of the Gnosia, Otome or Gina have to step up. Otome steps up and says, hey, I'm Gnosia. So, we all know who's who.
Oh, wait, bro, she said I'm Gnosia.
What is it?
You said that Otome came out and said, I'm Gnosia.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. No, Otome comes out and says, they're engineer. But then we see another hand being raised. Gina says she's engineer. Bro, ain't no way Gina's about to sabotage her whole entire side. It's so obvious that we have 2 out of the 3 people are Gnosia. So obvious. And then we need to see, Otome, she starts backing up, like, reversing, like she's getting a little feral. She's getting a little toothy in her mouth. Like, oh yeah, I'd be mad too if my partner just rolls up and claims the same role. Like, no, we had a plan. All 3 give the reports. All 3, and they just hit him with the Chippy hits Otome with your Gnosia. Otome hits Chippy with your Gnosia, and then Gina goes, hey Chippy, your Gnosia. Ah!
Oh my god, bro.
Gnosia.
I legit died.
Gnosia can't report themselves, so it's obvious that Gina and Otome are the Gnosia. It's so clear. We don't even need to meet anymore. Why, Gina? Why sabotage the entire thing? Otome just gets put into the bin. Gina goes like, I just couldn't handle it. I'm sorry. I'm like, hey yo. Like, okay, props to Gina for staying with her morals, staying with her personality, like even combating the Gnosia in her, to staying true to herself. But man, even if I was a Gnosia and I wanted to tell the truth all the time and I didn't want to lie, I wouldn't bring myself to sabotage my team. I fight for survival. You're better than me, Gina. I give it to you. You got it.
Dude, like something I want to point about this whole sequence, Gina's eyes never show from the moment the meeting starts, right? And I think that's been like a consistent thing throughout, like, I think all of her moments when she's lying specifically, right? Where she's like constantly like hiding expressions so you can't like see anything off her, so the viewer can't see anything off her. I think I think a lot of people caught her out lying there because you hide like Chippy's expression when she comes out with it. You hide Stella's like face when she came out about it. I think a lot of people caught her lying when she said, "I'm the engineer," but they're just like giving her a pass because she made like that crazy sacrifice play.
Man, if that actually happened in a real game, I'd be mad at my partner. I'd be super mad.
Bro, I would turn into Rakio in 2 seconds, bro. I'd have like a 3 minute monologue about how everybody's a caveman and how they betrayed me, how a true king would never go out like this.
For real. But everybody's about to go out because an emergency happens. The ship starts rocking. The shields are down due to a magnetic field anomaly. And immediately, Gina just rushes out to make the emergency repairs on the outside of the ship. That's what originally she was going to do with Yuri, but they didn't have the chance to do so. So she makes the repairs, and she says the maintenance drones can handle the rest. However, the drones won't operate because there's still a Gnosia presence on the ship, as per Levy says. And Gina says, hey, there are no Gnosia. And she kicks off from the ship in space. W, Gina?
Bro, okay. This is one of my favorite events from the game, like ever, right? I was not prepared for it this time. I really was not, right? And you could see this whole sequence, not foreshadowed, but alluded to back in episode 2. Gina explained this exact thing about the allocation system and how the debris would definitely take out the ship if too much damage occurred, right? And this was the same loop where she betrayed Yuri, right? So when she goes out this time, right, I was like not caught off guard, but really happy to see that like re-referenced and like used in this way in Gina's self-sacrifice.
Yeah, but there's one person that was not gonna let it happen smoothly. Yuri pops up from behind Gina to catch her, and it's that call back to the episode to where Yuri like pulls her in like Gina did to him back then, as she pulls her in close to her, as she says, hey, don't do this, you're okay. And it's a beautiful bittersweet moment to where both of them are going back and forth, talking. Yuri just wanting to believe in Gina, and Yuri saying like, hey, I'm here for you. And Gina just says, hey, I know you're lying. And Yuri's like, no, I will be with you. And he doesn't want to let her go. But Gina, does a few things on like, I think Yuri's spacesuit. So like able to push him off very easily. And so that he can't come back to her. But before then, Gina says, hey, I'm happy that at least this lie is like, making her smile. And of course, she confesses her love for him. But she's sad that Yuri's not going to be in this loop with her for any longer. Well, he's not going to be with her any longer because, the oxygen in her suit just depreciates and she's just left out there floating in space.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. And they bring back the whole thing where like somebody's face doesn't show when they lie, right? We don't get to see Yuri's pulses when he lies, right? But the fact that he's willing to like hold on to Gina like until like they both inevitably die, knowing that he could loop is just like the most, I don't even know how to put it. I keep saying beautiful, right? I need a different word, but it is beautiful, right? That's like a ride or die friend right there. And I think go for it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's wonderful. It's heartbreaking And thinking about it back from like SQ's point of view is that, well, SQ and Comment, for real, is that all these moments to where Yuri just wants to be there, but he can't. Like Yuri's just like, yeah, I'll be here. Like still giving them that last bit of hope and like lying to them. I can't help but feel that Yuri just needs to stop saying that, even though it kind of doesn't matter. Don't you feel like he's making it just a little bit worse when they actually know the truth? Yeah, he's like continuing to lie, saying like, yeah, I'll be here, to give them that false kind of hope.
And this is a difficult question because for me, I think if I'm in that position, I need Yuri to become a better liar, bro. He needs to stack up some Gnosia loops and get his words on point if he's going to be doing this. But it's definitely painful for like everybody else around them, right? And right here, I think Yuri was fully willing to die, right? And I think Gina saving him despite that was like her last like act as a human, as a complete human. You know what I mean? Even though she was
Yeah,
Kenosha. I think
yeah.
Yuri is setting himself up for heartbreak, right? I don't know, like we keep talking about like, oh, if he goes through so many loops, he's gonna get tired, he's gonna like start doing like breaking down, you know what I mean? And I think at this point, halfway through the season, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I think he's gonna be like the most optimistic crew member, I think.
What if we get an episode where we just get a bunch of different loops to where he's just getting so desperate that he's just making mistakes, right? Because he's trying to get the information. And while we're at the end of this, I want to point out Yuri knows that each and every loop he needs to find like some type of information. He didn't know that he was going to get this moment with Gina. He was just kind of going through with it and it just kind of like fell into his lap.
Word?
That's one thing. I don't. I think there was something else that I wanted to say about it, but more that I think about it, the more I was like, eh. But that unfortunately kind of ties into Setsu, but I don't want to talk about Setsu yet.
All right. For that last point about like opportunities sort of falling into his lap, this is actually like sort of I'm gonna call it a feature. It's a feature of the silver key, right? Where it like sends them like to the direct point where he can actually learn new things, right? It is sort of convenient that it happens this way, right? But that's totally by design, I feel like. You can't really, or I don't really worry about that kind of aspect anymore.
Okay, I get you. I get you. Okay, I can't avoid it. All right, Setsu.
Here we go.
I'm going to admit, I thought Setsu was a Gnosia this loop immediately. Frame one, when Setsu said, "Hey," when Setsu told Comment to tell Gina to go wake up Yuri. That, of course, didn't come to pass, and Setsu didn't show up like that much in this episode at all. Period. They only show up to like in the meetings, like a little bit and after, in like other scenes. God. But linking back to what I said about this opportunity falling into Yuri's lap, what if Setsu knew that Gina was the information that Yuri needed this loop, and so she sent Gina to go wake up Yuri and for them to have that moment?
Oh, like she like manipulated it behind the scenes so that he could fill out his key.
Exactly, because here's the thing. For the most, I have to check back through the few at the beginning of these episodes. I should have done this beforehand, but Setsu has been the one waking up Yuri every single time. Of course, there were a few episodes where he didn't, like Comet waking up Yuri when he was a Gnosia. That makes sense. The Gnosia should be waking up Gnosia. The Gnosia should wake up Yuri Gnosia. At that point, I have to wonder, why isn't Setsu at that point? Who knows? The one to where Yuri and SQ were on guard duty. Setsu could have woken up Yuri, but Setsu told SQ to wake up Yuri because both of them were on guard duty. And I have to look about the other ones, but I feel like Setsu is telling the other characters if they're not gonna be the one waking up Yuri, to wake up Yuri, and those are the points of interaction that Yuri needs to make. And somehow Setsu knows, because I have to think that Setsu also knows what information that they need. But what if they also need the information that Yuri needs? So she just bugs every single room that Yuri is in, as per what she did with Jonas, so that she can get the information.
I genuinely do think you're cooking regarding like Setsu maybe sending people Yuri's way.
Bro,
right?
I think I'm overcooking. I don't.
I think you just need a little bit of garlic butter in there, and it'll be all good.
I need an episode with Setsu only so that I can feel okay with being wrong. But if I'm right, I'm going to be the most annoying person for the rest of the episodes.
Or yo, editor, clip that exact phrase and put it as a YouTube short.
Bro, I will say it every single time.
I oh god, how do I start? So there's like what you said is a great theory. It's genuinely an awesome theory that I don't think anybody has touched on since the anime has started, right? We've seen like some other sections where Setsu is overly defensive of Yuri, quick to like help him out, quick to make sure they're not putting themselves in danger, like they did with Sha Ming, like they did in the second loop when they were talking with SQ and Rakio at the meeting. When they were doing what's it called? Not the Kukrushka incident, but there's like a lot of care for Yuri that's like very disquieted, right? Kept secret from everybody else because, being collaborators so openly doesn't look great on paper when you're trying to find Kenosha, right? And yeah, like I said, I love your theory. Like that she's just quietly like sending people Yuri's way so he can fill out his key. That's like an angle I've never heard before. As a game head, and I don't think this will be spoilers, they've missed their opportunity to do this. But there is a time at the beginning of loops where she'll just send people out of the airlock, not people, but Shaming specifically out of the airlock when they're not participating.
I mean, Setsu hates Xiaoming, so that makes sense.
No, exactly. When I first saw that she was busy with something, I thought she did it this loop, but we don't see any sign of Jonas in the loop, and maybe that's by design.
But yeah, very good episode for Gina, opening a whole lot of avenues and answering a few questions while also giving us more questions onto what are Gnosia, and thus finally putting a target on JD's favorite character, Yuriko. I can't wait for that episode. I am waiting for any kind of slip up on Yuriko's part. I'm ready to blast her.
Yo, I can't wait either. The day of reckoning, the loop jam where like Yuri just like hits a freaking wall is coming, and I can feel it, bro.
Too. But in any case, let us all know. Well, let us both comment down below what y'all think. Okay.
Yeah, man. No episode next week, so it's like take a small break, but then the week after we'll be all good. First course is over. Tell me how the first half went.
Oh,
Tell
for
me your
real?
favorite character too. I want to see some. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think they're just doing like a quick 1 week break for the first half, and then they'll start again in like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Okay. I guess lining up with the new season for anime. Okay, I got you. I got you. All right. We can take a little break from it because I'm gonna keep my Setsu whiteboard up just in case.
I can't say enough how much you captured the essence of like Setsu fans in that one sentence, yo. I need to know what she's doing so I can be okay. Hit my soul.
Tell you, man, this anime's got me invested. I don't even need to play the game. It's so and you have to give credit to the storyboarders and the writers to allow so many little details to be in there and for me to notice them and for me to really beam into it. Maybe they are actually playing me. Maybe they got so many puppet strings on me that they're just happy for me to go crazy about Setsu and my crazy theories or some other things. Or maybe I'm just so in their heads that they're just like very scared and like they watch these things and like, all right, we really need to make Setsu extremely passive. So this one crazy dude just in like botch our future plans.
Yeah, like I love like the idea that like the animators are just looking at the threads being like, bro, they're freaking out. Delay one more episode.
No. Don't put the Setsu episode out now. Put in somebody else. Who? Yuriko. All right. Okay. It's a little bit early. Let's put that out.
Like Jonas and what's his name? Shikamichi. We can put that event right there, bro. It'll be perfect, right?
We'll let y'all go and y'all enjoy the day. I hope y'all have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I hope your day is just a little bit better than it already is. With that, we'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.
Bye bye.
Setsuko, I'm coming for your head.